Awesome. I can't tell you how much positive feedback I'm getting from everybody. And I said this, which is true. This is my very favorite day of the year. I love this day. It's so full of energy and enthusiasm. And so my feet don't touch the ground, which I love. So we're going to get started on mindset. Before we do that, I'll have the panelists introduce themselves. I just wanted to talk about two books. One's called Mindset by Carol Dweck, W-E-C-K, PhD, heavy read. The other one is The E-Myth. How many people have read The E-Myth by Michael Gerber, right? Something like Why Small Businesses Fail and You Don't Have to, or something like that. The E-Myth. Anyway, both of those books, fantastic. We were doing a lot of that information about what to do and how to get more and do your own work. So with that, let me introduce our fantastic, let me kick it off to have the fantastic panel introduce themselves. We have three fantastic folks here, all of whom are obviously going to share with you their thoughts about this, but I want to thank them for being here. This is a tough spot to be in about mindset, but I know we have a really great panel. So Heather, would you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. Hi, I'm Heather Lagginus, and I'm with Lagginus Insurance Agency. So we're an independent agency, insurance agency in Plymouth, and we handle both business and personal lines of insurance. I've got 22 years of experience, licensed agent, and certified insurance counselor.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. My name is Robin Penny. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've been coming to FemPreneur for many, many years since the beginning. I started my journey in your spot as an attendee and went from an attendee to an exhibitor to now a panelist. I own two companies. One is a recording studio in Midtown Detroit called Audio Engineers of Detroit. The second one is Motor City Woman, which is an audio post-production company with a host of clients across the country. I'm happy to be here and talk about the importance of mindset.
Hi everybody, I'm Nagham Alsamari. Nagham is melody in Arabic, if you're wondering. And I'm from Imkan Leadership Development. Have you ever had a challenge in your life, or am I talking to people who had smooth sailing lives? If you have, like I have, if you're wondering, I'm the person who died almost 5 times on that sheet you were looking for. And I didn't just live through these experiences. I actually developed a framework to help me grow and turn those challenges into opportunities. So from different positions and roles into opening my own business, that's what I do. I help people train their resilience muscle, starting with learning about your self-awareness through DISC, personality assessment, and not just learning and labeling yourself, but actually taking that to the next step and seeing how you can grow and thrive, not just in your business, but also in your personal life. And I'm really happy to be here. This is my second year, not a veteran like or an OG like the ladies here, but I'm super excited to be here.
We got a panel. Okay, let's jump right in. How do I get unstuck from my negative or scarcity mindset?
Okay. How do I get unstuck? And this kind of came up a little bit at our table when we were talking about how do you reset when something happens. And the one thing that I always start with is, what are you consuming that got you stuck? So let's look at the core before we start trying to change. Because if you try to change and the core is still there, you're just going to keep a loop. It's just going to keep looping. So what are you bringing in? What are you watching? What are you seeing when you scroll online? What are you listening to? Who are you around? So those are all the things that you are consuming. So start there, but then recognize it and change it. Do something a little different. For me, yes, having a business now, it's kind of like you have to have social media. However, that doesn't mean I have to be on social media. So that's something that I use a software to program my posts and to schedule my posts. Because I was finding that the more time I spent on social media, the lower I felt. And then I would get consumed in, I should be doing this, and my business should be here and not there. And I said, why do I feel like this? I'm doing awesome. So I started looking at software that controls and that programs all of my social media posts. So,
Great tip.
so that's
Great tip.
to
Thank
start.
you.
Yes. What software?
Schedule your social media posts with software.
Yeah.
I know that came up a lot at our table with the question of not just getting stuck, but just how do you get over like procrastinating, or you have something you don't want to do. And we said, well, make that call first thing in the morning. If you have something you feel is negative or you're worried about it, sometimes you have to just get it, push through it and get it done with. So that would be a tip that we come just to address it first thing in the morning. A lot of times things go better than what you think it's going to. So get it done with, and then a lot of times the rest of your day will flow smoother. So.
Eat the frog, right?
Yes.
That's exactly right. Naga, what do you think?
Well, the first thing, I went through this myself, and what I have found really helpful is that, and I discovered this about myself, is that all these negative thoughts are just, they live up here. They're not actually out here in the open. We don't actually talk to ourselves, like hear our sound say things. And you really need to hear your voice. So when you have that negative thought, bring it outside, hear yourself say it, and then ask yourself, is this an actual fear, or is it just an assumption that you're making based on what someone said or social media? And then just go from there. Analyze that thought first, and then you can say if it's negative or positive after that.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you. So that's a great tip, too. We have a question here.